Isn't it strange how something can seem so real, so solid, so unshakable, until the moment you question it? Because haven't you noticed how fear crumbles the moment you stop feeding it? And maybe you've already begun to wonder, what if none of it was ever true? What if, for as long as you can remember, you've been chasing shadows? Because when you think about it, what is a judgment really? A passing thought, a flicker of perception, a breath released into the air only to vanish. And yet, you've been holding on to them, as if they had weight, as if they had meaning, as if they were real. But tell me, have you ever held a judgment in your hand? Can you place it on a table? Can you lock it in a box? Can you measure it like the weight of stone? Or is it just an idea? And if it's just an idea, whose idea is it? Because isn't it fascinating how people, they can only make you doubt yourself when you believe them more than you believe yourself. And yet, what happens when that changes? Because what if right now, right in this very moment, something inside you is shifting, something is waking up, something ancient, something undeniable, something that's always been there, just waiting for you to see it. And isn't it interesting how the moment you recognize it, the moment you own it, everything changes? Because when a lion walks, does it wonder if other animals approve? When an eagle flies, does it ask for permission to own the sky? And so tell me, what have you been waiting for? Why have you been measuring yourself against their standards when they could never measure up to yours? Because deep down, you've always known no one's judgment could ever define you, that no opinion could ever change what you are, that all the validation in the world, it'll never replace the power of a mind that validates itself. And so maybe, just maybe, you're done seeking. Maybe you're done waiting. Maybe you're done asking for what was always yours to claim. And now as this truth locks into place, as it seals itself deep inside you, I wonder, what happens now? What happens when you finally let go? What happens when you stop chasing shadows and start casting them? What happens when you become unstoppable? Maybe you're about to find out. Because it's interesting, isn't it? How something that once felt so heavy can suddenly become so light. Like a chain you thought was unbreakable, until you saw it was never locked to begin with. Because isn't it interesting how you've been waiting for something, someone, somewhere, to tell you that you're enough, when deep down you've always known. The very act of waiting was the only thing standing in your way. And the moment you realise that, the moment you see through it, the moment you step beyond it, something shifts. Because hasn't it always been true that the one thing that ever made doubt feel real was your decision to entertain it? And yet, have you ever held doubt in your hands? Can you point to where it lives? Is it something solid, or is it just an idea? And if it's just an idea, then who controls it? Because isn't it strange how opinions, judgments, and criticism, they only have power over you if you let them, as if they were real, as if they had weight, as if they were true. But tell me, what happens when you stop playing the game? Because haven't you noticed that no one can make you feel small if you refuse to shrink? No one can make you doubt if you refuse to question yourself. And no one can define you if you decide once and for all to define yourself. Because lions, they don't seek approval. And the sun doesn't wait for permission to shine. And the deeper you let that truth sink in, the more impossible it becomes to unsee it. Because at some point you realise that the rules you've been playing by, they were never yours. That you have been following patterns that were never meant for you, and yet, what happens when you break them? What happens when you step outside them? What happens when you finally let go? Maybe you can already feel it happening. Maybe that old weight is already dissolving. Maybe those chains were never chains at all. And now, as this truth locks into place, as it seals itself deep inside you, I wonder what happens now. What happens when you stop waiting and start becoming? What happens when you stop asking and start owning? What happens when you realize that the only permission you ever needed was your own? And as that thought settles in, as it etches itself into your reality, as it rewrites the script, I wonder, what else becomes possible? Maybe you're about to find out.